these motherfucking studios on this motherfucking video.
Oh, woof. Pepsi and vodka. A terrible combo.
Yeah, whatever.
The filthy business that put those clothes on.
What are you watching?
The latest Christopher Nolan film, Tenet.
Looks complicated.
Yeah, it's worse when you're tipsy. But hey, at least it includes Kenneth Branagh doing a funny accent.
Look at me!
And understand.
Certainly isn't the first time.
Exactly, Merc. There's Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West was a popular TV show in the 1960s that was adapted into a blockbuster film starring Will Smith, Kevin Kline, Salma Hayek, and Kenneth Branagh. The only thing I remembered about that film was that giant mechanical spider producer John Peters insisted on having. An obsession he expressed when he wanted a giant spider in Superman Lives, an adaptation of The Sandman. Just, what the actual fuck, John? On top of that, Kevin Kline felt he was too good for this film. I'm pretty sure Will Smith doesn't like it either. And I have a feeling Kenneth Branagh didn't dye his hair for Murder on the Orient Express in fear of having Nam flashbacks.
Mi casa es su casa. Bet come shy bird. Let the party begin!
When I finally watched the film this year, I realized I had to talk about it at some point. Now, onto the plot. The West, 1869. Captain James West is a man on a mission. He's waiting for General Bloodbath McGrath. After some comedic hijinks, Jim finds himself at a local saloon. Meanwhile, U.S. Marshal Artemis Gordon is also after McGrath. Disguised as a prostitute, Gordon takes McGrath to a private bedroom. Before Gordon can get any info, Jim breaks in and attacks McGrath. Later, when Jim arrives at the White House, he learns that President Grant wants him and Artemis to work together to stop Dr. Arliss Lovelace. Using the head of Professor Morton in one of Gordon's inventions, they learn that Lovelace will be hosting a costume party in New Orleans. At the party, Jim is ambushed by Lovelace's lackeys. Meanwhile, Gordon frees a woman named Rita Escobar, who joins them on their journey so she can save her father. Question is, will Jim and Gordon ever get along? Will Rita be more than a damsel in distress? And does this weird-ass spider fit in at all? The answer? Nope.
Don't you just hate that song?
I think the action sequences were decently shot. The big action set pieces and small-scale fights are easy to follow. However, that doesn't mean that they are boring. In fact, dare I say, I think they were exciting. My favorite action scene would be the fight towards the end of the film. That's due to the fact that most of it was Jim kicking henchmen ass. But don't worry, Gordon gets in on the fun. Even President Grant did something. Even with that, the film is not great. But with that consideration, our lead actors tried their best to polish this pile of droppings. I mean, Will Smith tried to work his charms, Kevin Kline tried to get a laugh, and Salma Hayek tried to put in some kind of performance. And that certainly helps. You know who else tries to make this film work? That's right, Gilderoy Lockhart himself, Kenneth Branagh. Kenny checked his ego and self-worth at the door. Hammed it up like Jim Carrey crossed with a drunk Al Pacino on scenery chewing day, and it was glorious. From the awful southern accent,
My dear General, having donated half of my physical being to create a weapon capable of doing this, how did you and General Lee repay my loyalty?
to his dialogue delivery,
Rita is sleeping off the after effects in the stateroom.
are the elements that make it the ham sandwich it was. And yes, I am stretching for positives. Get off my back, Dad! The last thing I want to mention is the music and Will Smith's song. The song Wild Wild West is actually a fun song, and is one of the actual good elements of the film. It didn't deserve to win the Razzie for Worst Song. Then again, the Golden Raspberry Awards were so lazy, they didn't nominate any other songs. Not even You'll Be in My Heart. Put your pitchforks away. I love the song. Let's get back on track. Elmer Bernstein's score is incredible. From the opening theme to the ending music, it all perfectly fits the film.
Gordon, what's your plan for getting this thing off my neck?
The film's attempt at comedy is just awful as far as I'm concerned. This film felt like a serious film with comedy added in reshoots. The banter between Loveless and Jim in particular was annoying.
How nice of you to join us tonight and add color to these monochromatic proceedings.
Well, when a fella comes back from the dead, I find that an occasion to stand up.
Hooray! I love making fun of the disabled and black people. But a lot of the other jokes also fall flat for me.
Touch my breast. Just one. Touch one.
Okay. You happy, Gordon? I'm touching your breast.
I knew it.
There is room for comedy in an action film. Lethal Weapon and Die Hard are perfect examples. You just need to know where to place it. Why were Jim West and Aramis Gordon rivals? No, honestly, why were they fighting each other during the film? Did Will Smith and Kevin Kline hate each other during production? Did John Pierce want his heroes fighting to appease his spider gods? Did anybody think it would be funny if our heroes were constantly bickering with each other? Well, I didn't think it was funny. It was annoying. They should have started at odds, but become closer as the film progresses before they become friends at the end. Though they tried, this film wasted Will and Kevin's talents. But I feel the most wasted talent was Salma Hayek as Rita Escobar. Rita is a pointless character that does nothing. All she does is get saved and kidnapped while being an object of lust for Jim and Artemis. When we first meet her, she says she wants to save her father, but surprise, it's her husband. She didn't have to lie, even Jim points this out.
You could have told us that from the beginning, Rita. Yes.
So let's talk about the spider. That fucking giant mechanical spider where the final fight takes place. Jesus. Why did John Peters force a giant mechanical spider in a western? It just doesn't fit. It stuck out like a sore thumb. A lot of the tech in the film was a bit over the top, but the spider is really what breaks reality. Why would Loveless use a spider? He could have used a tank for his evil plot. In fact, he has a tank. A tank that could blow up a town and possibly transport any kidnapping victim. But no, because Johnny wanted a damn spider, he got a spider. God, let's move on before I burst a blood vessel. Because this happened in the past, and there's no way I can change it.
Let the party begin!
The character of Arliss Lovelace is a composite of two of the show's villains. He takes the last name of Dr. Migelo Lovelace and the physical appearance of Colonel Noel Bartley Voltrain. After watching both villains through clip collections of the show, they were better apart than together. I think Kenneth Branagh was a fine actor, but I think Michael Dunn and Ricardo Montalban were better. Even their plans were better. This leads into my next point. I know this is going to sound unusual coming from me, but someone should remake this. Or more accurately, someone should readapt the Wild Wild West TV show. The film's storyline is not terrible, but it needs work. Rule number one, no giant mechanical spider. It was stupid in this movie, and it would have been stupid in Superman Lives. Rule 2, respect the source material. I have only seen clips of the show for this review, but even I know the film did a bad job adapting it. So, for a possible new film, it would be best to have even a basic understanding of the original show. Rule 3, Jim and Artemis are supposed to be partners, not rivals. I think the age of superheroes is waning. It's time for the Western to return. This film could have been great, but it wasn't. Sure, the action was exciting, our leads really did try to act with garbage, and Kenneth Branagh had some fun. The theme song and music were also fun, but the bad comedy, pointless rivalry, pointless love interest / damsel, and that awful spire hurt this film. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Tommy!
Yes, Mr. Smith.
Is there any way you can get us some lunch and maybe dust the house? I have a lot of work to do and I'm feeling a bit under the weather.
Drunk again, I say.
Well done, Columbo.
And you started quoting Bohemian Rhapsody. I'll start dusting downstairs.
You know, I work my ass off to do this show Jacob left me. Sean left me. That's fine. I will do the show by myself, even if I have to get through the pain. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Retsnobs.
Prince in his first motion picture. Purple Rain.
Don't let the ear frighten you, my little duff. I lost it at Chickamauga.
Really, one can hardly notice.
Thank you for saving me.
Good night, ma'am.
You should be ashamed, dude.
Rita. I told you she'd be a distraction.
She got a great ass!